Alrighty people, so the temperature's kicking up something chronic. It's probably almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit or getting close to it. And I have little diddums here that I borrowed off my sister and brother-in-law. This is a DeLonghi Pack W160A. This is about 2 or 3 years old or something. And it is a very good unit. I can tell, I see a little sensor hiding in behind the tinted plastic there. It does have a remote, that means, but I don't have the remote. Not that that matters. This is one of these portable ones. You've got your exhaust sitting out through the back there. What it actually does, this sounds ridiculous, but its condenser is cooled by some of the same air it just threw out into the room. Not really terribly efficient. There's no outside air in, outside air out. There's only an outside air out. Spits out the cold air out the top here. But what it does have, which is only a few that do have this, little water inlet. You fill that up with water, and you've got your little tank level gauge thingy there. And basically it uses some of that water, I don't know if it trickles it down the condenser or mists it onto it or whatever, to cool the condenser. And then of course that goes out as humidity or sort of like, you know, steam out the back, out through the exhaust hose there. Now, she's also got the power leads in that box there, and in here there's another 2 hoses. Don't know exactly what they are for. I'm going to have to ask my sister about that one. She's a decent powered unit. As you can probably see, she draws a bit of power, and it flipping is brilliant. You know, it works very well. Apparently, if you set it at 25 degrees Celsius, it'll keep the room to 25 degrees Celsius. You change it to 22 degrees Celsius, which is pretty much the international standard for what air conditioners normally are set at. And she goes to about 16 degrees Celsius. There's ice just about falling off the ceiling. So I might test out its capabilities. Sorry. Yeah, cut into the wall there. Don't worry, the house is exceedingly old. I can see the curvature in the floor here. Yeah, I know a few things about this house that I don't talk about, which it's got a limited lifespan. So I'm not too worried about sort of hacking holes in the wall like that. I'll put another one in the wall down there, which I'm going to rehack out, which was a place I used to put power leads through and things of that nature. It's just a bit of expansion foam. But I'll take you to the outside to show you what I'm doing on the outside. I had to go through 2 layers of corrugated iron and weatherboards, which I went through with a sabre saw, which was pretty good. I drilled a hole with a hole saw, and then went and started with the sabre saw and went round, and of course these palings here. Oh, I'll take you outside anyway. I'll show you what's going on there. Okay, here we are. This is the bathroom beside me here, and there's the back wall of the bedroom. Anyway, I've got the exhaust hanging out here. I've got to make up a little bit here. I'm going to go and get like a little rainwater deflector. I'm going to go and get another roof sheet and hold a bit of aluminium or some bit of flat steel to the end of it to trace out the curvature so that I can sort of pretty much sit it straight on there after I've cut it out to the shape of this sort of a curve, and then just put a bit of silicone, lean it down, and probably have like 2 little legs riveted on to stop it from just falling flat. But after I silicone that in, I'm going to put a bit of expansion foam in. Now you may be worried that that's going to get stuck on the exhaust. Well, I know a little bit about this polyurethane low density expansion foam. We don't tend to have the high density one here, just the low density for some reason. So we're not going to destroy everything in the process by using low density. Now, have a look at that. Cling wrap. You know, the same stuff you'll wrap your sandwiches in. What's that going to do? Well, I know a few things about this. It will not stick to polyethylene. The two just don't happen. They just will not stick together. Now, you've got two kinds of polyethylene, high density and low density. High density is usually your wheelie bins and stuff of that nature. Sometimes your paint buckets, yeah, usually they put HDPE. This one they put PE-HD, but that's an old paint bucket there. Your plaster buckets, stuff like that. High density polyethylene, wheelie bins and whatnot. Your black plastic that you have under your concrete, you know, the sort of stuff. I've got a big heap of it around here. I think possibly your black garbage bags, like that bit of dag there, and your black plastic like that big roll I got laying there, and also, yes, you guessed it, cling wrap. I have an old roll of cling wrap that my uncle bought, and it literally has written on there that it's low density polyethylene. And also your JB Hi-Fi, Maya, a lot of your department store shopping bags that are sort of that bit stronger plastic, they're all low density polyethylene. And that means that I can spray all this crap in there, and basically this plastic will just peel perfectly off and it will not attach to the expansion foam. And as a result, all I've got to do once I've finished doing this is just basically roll the air conditioner forwards once it's set, and then just take this plastic off and probably just roll it straight back. I might try and trim it out to the full size before I roll it back. And then that'll be that. I've just got to throw an extension lead in the right place, pretty much the same place when I had the electric hot water system. And then, yeah, that extension lead should reach the air conditioner. If not, I've got a couple of little 3-metre ones, and then we can run the system. But I'll sort of give the foam and the silicone a day to set before I go running this, because there's liable to be vibrations when the compressor starts up in the air conditioner. There we go, peoples. Cut her out and silicone her up there. Put the expansion foam in. By crikey, that's got big in the last 2 minutes or so. And of course, I'll have to trim that out back to the size it's supposed to be, but yeah, all the film is staying intact and whatnot. Hopefully not too much comes inside, but I don't think it will. The way I squirted in, it should be right, but it doesn't matter because there's a fair bit of film over the outlet there, and I can just trim it off inside anyway. And there's my little struts that realistically, for structural strength, that should be a 90-degree bend in it to give it more strength. Just as a flat piece of metal there, it's weak as shit. But anyway, I'm not going to poke it and that, and it shouldn't really matter. It's only just a tiny little piece of metal, as you can see, you know. So yeah, that's all go there, and I'll let that set for the day, and that should be good to go tomorrow. And it'll taper down bits of silicone either side there, just to help the water flow continue off as opposed to hanging right under and dripping. But I'll sort of thought I'd need to put this on because it's sort of been raining unexpectedly during the summer, and you know, there's probably still going to be this hole there in the winter, but I'll be blocking it from the inside and maybe even blocking it from this side as well. But yeah, there we go. Job pretty much done. Well, there we go, people. She's rumbling away. Show you a little screen here. I just fired the generator up, switched it on, and I'll switch the switch on the generator, and she just burst the light straight up anyway. Poured a bit of water in that pipe, and it had a symbol of a jug pouring on the left-hand side, and then sort of done a few beeps, and that went away. So I don't know. It's cool-ish, but not as cool as I would have hoped. But yeah, I might have to ask my sister a little bit more about how to use it all, because I'm not too sussed out on how it all exactly operates. Okay, people, she went from probably over 90 degrees Fahrenheit in here. It was about 32 degrees today, and what always ends up happening is in the morning my bedroom's nice and cool. In the afternoon it's as hot as hell, and I've had to generally use, you probably barely see it there, a little vent behind the bits of 4x2 there, and that's Chinese evaporative cooler there, and the big wooden box that's behind it that's got a bit of stuff stacked on top to transfer cool night air from that side of the room and spit the hot air out there. And that's usually what I do before I go to bed for about half an hour or so, because the room will get hot if the day's been hot, but only once the sun goes over that side in the afternoon, because through on the other side is the kitchen, and the kitchen gets warm in the morning while this stays cool, and then vice versa, the kitchen's now cool and the bedroom's hot, or at least it was. This is a bizarre little device. You turn it on, the fans run for 3 or 4 minutes, and then all of a sudden, boom, compressor kicks in. And I'll tell you what, we are probably at about 20 degrees Celsius, probably about 68 degrees Fahrenheit now, down from about 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius. And I'll tell you what, she works good. Probably only been going for about 15 minutes, something like that. Yeah. Oh, it's lovely. Finally, people, even though I borrowed it, we have achieved real air conditioning in an off-grid setting, and by hell, I am loving it.